Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This week I kind of wanted to show you some of the winter gear that I keep in my truck. So some of the stuff I'll show you today is gear that I specifically put and keep in my truck just for the winter time. Some of it stays in all the time, but I've had some benefit using it in the winter, or maybe a little more useful in the winter even though it stays in here all the time. So I won't go through every piece of gear in my truck because I keep a ton of stuff in here. And in another video I kind of went over a lot more of that stuff. So today's just a little more winter specific stuff that might keep you safe or be a little more useful during the winter time. So I thought this week I would have a snow bike video for you, just because that's what I'm usually busy doing most of the winter. But I got super sick last week, so I'm just getting over being sick, and I honestly wasn't really sure what video I was going to film this week at all. Today I'm filming this on Tuesday and I upload on Tuesdays, and I still had no idea what I was going to post. I walked out to my truck just a minute ago, tried to start it, and it won't start. So I figured this would be a perfect time to show you some of the gear that I keep in the winter, because one of those things that you might end up with is a dead battery because of the cold. So we're going to use a jump pack. I'm going to show you the jump pack that I use, and we're going to get this truck started in order to kick off this winter gear video. Okay, so we're starting with the jump pack today. I got this on Amazon a few years ago. Hulkman jump starter 8.5. They had different sizes, just like some of the other brands. It does have a really nice digital display. I'll turn on there. So like a really nice LED display that kind of tells you what's going on, percentage. I keep this in here all the time, even through the winter, and it's still reading 100%, even though it's also out in the cold. So, and I've never had a problem with it. It always does a really good job, stays charged up, and this size, it looks like it's telling me that it will jump up to an 8.5 liter gas engine and up to a 6 liter diesel engine. So that gives you a pretty good range of jump starts. So I'm gonna throw this on the truck and get this truck started. All right, so it just comes with these little cables that you plug into the side of it here. It does give you a 12 volt, so if you wanted to charge something with a 12 volt socket, you could. As well as it charges by USB-C and then has a USB-A output there, so you could charge some devices and stuff off of it if you wanted to. I don't really charge anything off of this just because I want it to always be full, because starting a dead battery is the most important thing to me. And I have other batteries that charge phones and stuff while I'm out. So yeah, you just plug that in there. I mean, these are all pretty simple. They're all pretty much the same. But you just turn it on and then hook it up. Should be good to go. All right, so I got those hooked onto the battery. This might be hard to show you on the camera. I'll see if we can see it there. See how below, right, the percentage it says ready? So that's another cool thing about this. It'll tell you once it has power. So since those are connected on correctly, it's saying that that thing is ready to jump start. All right, let's give that a shot. Perfect. So I just pulled this up on Amazon because I couldn't remember how much I paid for it, but it looks like this one is called the Alpha 85, and it was 150 bucks. So, and it's pretty good. Like I said, it's up to an 8.5 liter gas engine and a 6 liter diesel engine, which that's most vehicles. So I didn't really feel like I needed one that was much bigger than this, because this seems to jump anything that I've ever needed to so far. So I bought this years ago. They didn't sponsor this at all. So just to let you know, I'm not biased towards this one at all. Another more name brand is called Noco, I think is how you say it. And I've used their jump starters a lot as well, and would totally recommend theirs, as well as these Hulkman ones. But I've really liked this one a lot. So if you're looking for one and you need to keep a jump pack in your car, I would definitely recommend getting this Hulkman one. It's always held its charge even through the winter, and always works really well. And I really like the LED interface on this one. So even though I do always keep jumper cables in my truck as well, this might be one of the more important pieces of gear that I keep in my truck all the time. When I'm camping, a lot of the times I just have my truck and no one else is with me. So if my battery dies, jumper cables aren't going to benefit me at all. So having this, because I'm solo a lot, is a big deal. plus just the convenience. Like even though I'm just in my driveway this morning, it made it so I didn't have to pull out another vehicle in order to run jumper cables to another vehicle to this one. So yeah, if you don't keep a jump pack in your car, I would recommend you do keep one in your car or your truck, because they are a lifesaver. Car can't go anywhere if your battery's dead. So definitely use this thing a bunch and got my money's worth with it. So would recommend keeping one of these for sure. So they are building a house right next to me, so hopefully this mic isn't picking up too much of that noise, so I apologize if it's a little noisy. So what I did is I obviously keep gear throughout my entire truck, whether it's the door panels, center console, the storage underneath the rear seat. I even keep stuff up on top of my tent in an Apache case, as well as some stuff around into the bed of the truck as well. So any of these winter specific items that we're going to talk about and that I'm going to show you, I've kind of pulled out so I don't have to dig for them. So we'll kind of go through each section of the truck and I'll show you some of these winter items. All right, so up here in the driver area, right in this door panel so that it's super quick, easy access, I always keep some gloves. So these are just mechanic gloves that I keep in here all year long. Just because those are super simple and easy to use, convenient to use all the time, as well as in the winter specifically. I've got some black diamond gloves here. These are super thin, so you can still kind of work with your hands as you need to, but I also keep those in the door to quickly access them in the winter time. In the center console, just a small thing I pulled out was a lighter. So lighter, some matches, even though I keep a ton of stuff in there, just figured that was worth showing. In the winter specifically, if you had to start a fire, you definitely want a way to start a fire, so that's why I keep a lighter. So I'm getting a little sidetracked here. I haven't done a video yet on this Midland Micro Mobile radio that I installed in the truck. If anyone's curious about comms and wants to see more info on that, let me know. I was just going to wait till maybe spring or summer to kind of show you that, but it's installed there, and then it actually runs up here to an external antenna. That's the aftermarket Ghost antenna there. All right, so moving to the back seat, this is stuff that I keep underneath the seat in this under seat storage here. Again, tons of gear. We'll just go over a few of the winter things I keep back here. I keep another pair of gloves, so this is a much thicker, bigger pair of gloves. I also, this is a good reminder for me, but I usually keep a pair of Kinko gloves, which are like a full winter glove. Those should be in here as well, but I think I was using them for something else. I keep an extra beanie as backup. This is just a super packable down coat, so Patagonia down coat that packs really easy. And then I've been liking doing this recently. I've found stuff sacks, and I like using stuff sacks to kind of keep some other pieces of gear. So in this one, this is actually just like a small emergency blanket. I won't even pull it all out, but yeah, just a small blanket that fits in a stuff sack there. And then in here, I actually have another coat. So might be overkill. You probably don't need that many down coats, but typically my wife and son are with me as well. So it'd probably be worth having it as backup. So had to put the camera down in order to pull that out of there, but that's just another down coat that I keep stuffed in a stuff sack. So most all that is pretty much just winter wear, that if you're in an emergency and didn't have enough warm gear with you, that would definitely make a difference. All right, so moving over here to the other side of the truck, there's the jump pack that we talked about earlier. You got to have an ice scraper in your car. I mean, it snows a ton, lots of ice here in Utah. So this might get more use out of anything else for the winter gear, just because I use it almost every morning if it's cold or icy or had snowed the night before. So obviously you can get those anywhere. And then the other thing I keep on this side that has come in use in the winter is a portable blowtorch. So this is just a Coleman 1-pound propane bottle. And then this is an attachment that you can buy at most hardware stores that kind of turns it into a blowtorch. So has an igniter in it, and then this controls the level of fuel that is pumped out of that 1-pound propane bottle. And it gives you a super easy portable blowtorch. When we went camping in December in the snow and we got stuck a bunch and everything, for part of that we aired down our tires in order to get more traction in the snow and to help us get unstuck. We eventually found a camp spot, camped the night, and then the next morning I went to go inflate my tires back up with my Milwaukee inflator, and the valve stem on my tire was actually frozen, so there was no way to screw on and get air in there. I would screw on the inflator, try and start it, and because that whole core was frozen, it wouldn't put any air in there. So I just quickly went and hooked this thing up, the blowtorch, and from a safe distance kind of heated up that valve core stem in order to thaw it out so I could air up my tires. So you never know what you're really going to need it for. I'll use it to start fires as well, just because it makes it a little bit easier with so much flame. But so yeah, I'd never expected to use it to thaw out a valve core stem, but you just never know when you might need something like that. All right, so on top of the tent there is that Apache case that I have mounted up. I've pulled some of the gear out of it to show you the more winter stuff. But let's talk about, I don't need to do a whole video on Max Tracks because there's going to be plenty of them and plenty of controversy against them. But I will say I have used mine. So that same trip in December, when we got really stuck in the snow, having those to get some traction on the ice and snow was the difference of us being able to actually get unstuck and get out of there. So those Max Tracks I have mounted up on top of the tent as well. Really, they could go anywhere. They could just go in the back of the truck, whatever works for your setup. But I have put mine to use in the winter time. I've also used them to get other people unstuck in the winter. So have really used those, and those are a benefit in icy and snowy conditions. All right, so for these last few items, some of it came out of the Apache case up there. Some of it is stored on these MOLLE panels back here. I've done a video on this before. These are the MOLLE panels I got off of Amazon, bedside MOLLE panels. So there is some gear that stays there all year long that I won't go into detail today. One of which being kind of a standard little survival shovel. But the head on that is so small, it's not really going to do you a whole lot of good if you're in a lot of snow. So something that I keep in just for the winter is a snow-specific shovel. So this is kind of an avalanche shovel that you could pack while you were snow biking or snowmobiling. And I choose to keep one in the truck as well. Handle extends to make it a little bit bigger. And then it just makes it easier to actually dig out snow if you needed to. Referencing back to that a lot, but that winter camping video also had to use this shovel a ton, and it was a big help in digging away some of the snow. So that is definitely a big piece, another very important piece of gear for me in the winter. All right, so the last piece of gear I'll show you, this is recovery gear that obviously stays in the truck year round, but I find myself using it a ton in the winter. I know I'm referencing this a lot, but again, that winter camping trip, we had to have tow straps to be able to pull each other out. Soft shackles are a really big benefit as well. Just make it a little bit easier to hook up those tow straps and make your life a little bit easier that way. I think it just happens to be more common for people to get stuck in the winter, whether it's just someone I see on the side of the road or whatever. So like I said, I think I tend to use my tow straps and recovery gear maybe a little bit more in the winter time, just because we even get stuff stuck around here. The other day I got the skid steer stuck while I was plowing out snow. So yeah, super easy to have this stuff quick access in the winter, so I can tow people out or I can get unstuck as well when needed. All right guys, thanks so much for watching the video today on a little bit more winter specific gear that I keep in my truck all the time. Hopefully that helps if you're looking for some ideas of stuff that you might need to keep in there to keep you prepared for the winter. Hopefully that helps. If you feel like there's something I missed, something that you keep in your truck or vehicle, feel free to leave me a comment and let me know of anything that you think I might need to keep in here that wasn't shown today. But guys, if you like these kind of videos, consider subscribing. Thank you to everyone that has subscribed, and we'll catch you next week.